Bryan and Mackenzie Crabtree, the realestateexperts.com. If you're selling your home, notwithstanding everything I'm about to say in this segment, this is a phenomenal time to sell your home, and it may be a window of opportunity to maximize profits that's rapidly closing.
But at the same time, you're saying now it's the worst time ever to purchase.
Well, we're going to explain that in a second. It is, in fact, the worst time ever in Metro Atlanta history to purchase a home by the numbers. We'll get to that in a second. First, a little bit of business. So the realestateexperts.com, if you want to just generally learn about us, search for homes, look at the market. If you want an instant home valuation and potentially to connect with us, if you're just looking for your value and have no interest in selling, you're welcome to use our site for that. Just indicate that, please, clearly, and we won't bother you.
We'll put you on a different list.
We'll put you on the we don't bug you list, right? So just say, I'm looking for my home's value, and you'll get a free valuation online. 9 times out of 10, it instantly produces it. You don't have to wait on us anymore. And if you're thinking of selling, just indicate the time frame, and we'll follow up with you politely and accordingly. We're not going to sell your information, and just tell us when you're thinking of selling. If it's now, 60 days, 90 days, 120, whatever, because we want to factor that in. And it'll give you an instant valuation 9 times out of 10. If it doesn't, we'll see that it doesn't. We'll follow up and make sure you get it, because there might be something complex about your home. That site is househuntingonline.com. Househuntingonline.com. The reason it's that name, it's easy to remember. You go there, type in your address, and within seconds, you'll have your valuation.
Put your real phone number on there if you really want to list your property. Thank you.
Yeah, and by the way, we had
easier.
one come through the other day, and his name was Donald Trump.
Right.
And it was
Did you send him a package?
I did. I sent him a mailer, and obviously, if you put in No Way and 123 Elm Street on any website anywhere in America that is a business worth doing business with, we are smart enough to figure out where you are.
That's true.
Okay, I'm just giving you that for general. If you go to a website and start to enter your data, I forget our site because we don't sell it like a lot of these companies do. You don't get a call from 5 agents by going to one of our websites. But a lot of these companies take the data that you halfway enter, even if your name is Donald Trump or Barack Obama, and then they just populate it with the correct name through all kinds of things that you've exposed online about yourself, unwittingly, unknowingly.
All those Facebook quizzes.
Right. And, Cambridge Analytica. I mean, so anyway, it doesn't do any good to put fake data. They've got your IP address. And if you're trying to get a price of the value of your home, it's automatically going to populate your phone number. Or if you're looking for a car or whatever it is, that explains why your phones ring off the hook. I didn't realize it till I purchased this technology. I'm like, my God, I had no idea how all these people got my phone number.
Yeah, it's a lot of chaos.
I was smart enough to only put in half the data, but then half the data was enough, right?
They know where you are.
But here's the key point. With us at househuntingonline.com, we are not selling the data. You're not going to get a call from 14 real estate agents. It's just the 3 of us, the team. One of us will call you, and we'll just simply try to say, are you selling? You say no, we'll put you in a very polite, you might get a newsletter about the market once a month and an update on your home's value, which I think is invaluable every quarter. So you can track what's happening. That's the most you're going to get if you just tell us who you are and what you're trying to do. We're not going to bug you.
You know, the other thing we were talking about, selling properties now, people are always a little nervous about the fall and winter, but I'm going to tell you, the buyers that come through, you got like a lot of contract buyers that start January 1st. It is a great time to sell August, September, October, because you don't have as much competition as you do in the spring. And then those buyers that come through, they're one and done.
Right. You're right. It is a good time to sell during the fall, contrary to popular opinion, which is mostly spewed by lazy real estate agents who want to sell homes for 6 months a year and take the winter off. That's really why the industry is set up that way. And they want to run their kids to soccer practice. I mean, that's
nobody really wants to do that.
Inherently, why everybody says in this industry, and it's kind of created that reality where a lot of people take their homes off the market, and fewer homes do sell, but the homes that are selling are still getting premiums. Now, I'm going to say something here that may be shocking. Not everybody in Atlanta listens to this show.
Yeah, I know that.
This may be even a further shock to our audience and to you too, Mackenzie, because I've seen the ratings. Not even half of Atlanta listens to this show. Here's the real shocker. Not even 3/4 of Atlanta listens to this show. Even the number 1 radio station in town, not even 3/4 of the city listens to that station at any point during the week, right? So the fact that I'm saying what I'm about to say is really the shocker. This is the best time in Atlanta history to sell a home. This is also, consequently, the worst time in Atlanta history to sell a home. I wrote about this in the book that I'm just about to put in production called The Intelligent Homeowner. And I explain this phenomenon. And I start the first 2 chapters, repeat this phrase. It's a phrase you'll hear me say on the radio and everything about real estate I've ever done. And it's the only phrase you really need to know as a guide to stay and remain successful. You buy.
Okay, no.
Whoa. When you buy when the market needs buyers, and you sell when the market needs sellers. The market needs sellers right now.
You just said it's the worst time to sell a home and the best time to sell a home.
Did I say it backwards?
You did.
I'm sorry. I meant to say, thank you for correcting me, but they knew what I meant. It's the best time in Atlanta history to sell a home ever. It is also, in my opinion and others, the worst time to buy one.
There you go.
Why would I say that?
Because prices are at their highest, inventory is at their lowest, and people are doing multiple offers and paying more money. The $275,000 buyers, okay, need to be looking at $250,000 and be prepared to pay $50,000 over.
Because they can't find what they want for anything near what they think they were going to spend. So that is more of that is an absolutely...
But that's a limited time offer.
Mm-hmm. It's a limited time occurrence. So let me explain. What you just said is absolutely true. However, that's a symptom of the real problem. The only thing that I think is important to look toward as a gauge for the future of the real estate market, not what's happening right now, not what happened in the last 6 months, but what's going to happen in the future, is a measurement of average home price in a given marketplace measured against the average income. And is the average home price outpacing the average income growth? So here's the numbers for Metro Atlanta. You be the judge here. The average real estate home price in Metro Atlanta is now $250,000 and some change. That is the highest measured number ever in Atlanta history. For against
even with 2006,
even with 2006, and measured against the number of inflation components too, not completely adjusted for inflation. There might have been another period where home prices, as a measure of inflation, were higher, but it's high right now. The average wage growth is lower than the average growth in housing. That is not sustainable over a long period of time. Short periods and catch-up and recovery periods, but we've now gone way beyond recovery. So, and I'm not even getting to the real toxic element of the market that I think is yet to come. So if you have the average household in Metro Atlanta has an average income of $63,000, $64,000, that's a lot better than the nation, so we should be proud of that number. It's still only enough to afford, with no other debt at all, about a $300,000 home, okay? So that's what they can afford if they don't have a car payment, they don't have a student loan, they don't have credit cards or personal loans of any kind. They can afford about a $300,000 home. That's not the vast majority of people have about, by my estimation, about $1,100 in debt, okay? A month. That's
okay.
their car payments, student loans, crap, right?
Children.
Just payments on their credit report. So if that's the case, that's an average. Some have more, some have less, and the average home price is $250,000. If you take a look at today's interest rates in the high 4% range, and you go, what can the average person in Metro Atlanta afford with $1,100 in debt? $250,000. $250,000. That means roughly half of the people that I'm talking about here in this kind of income range can't afford the average home. Okay, that's a problem. The other half can, but they've then maxed out everything they can use. Their debt-to-income ratio is half their income. Right? That's not healthy to begin with. It means they can afford to buy a home, and they may, for a time, as a culture, continue to buy homes at $250,000. But at the rate we're going now, that number is going to become $260,000, and interest rates are going to become 5.25%. And now the vast majority of people in Metro Atlanta can't afford the average home, which means what?
The people coming from California that sell their properties are going to be the purchasers.
I'm talking about the average. If you've got 1,000 homes for sale,
right,
you need 1,000 buyers. If you have 1,000 buyers right now that can afford the average home and the 1,000 homes for sale, and all of a sudden something happens because that average price goes up too high and interest rates go up even more, then 500 of those people can't buy a home. You've got 500 homes you cannot sell. What starts happening? Inventory starts increasing. For a while, it won't look toxic. Right now, we look great on paper. Over that time, as inventory starts increasing, certain sellers who need to sell sooner than later will start to do what? Drop their price. As they do that, those will be the homes that sell. Those will be the new sales comparables used to price new homes, which means that the prices will start to erode as an average in the market.
And that's how we start our downward
That's
spiral.
how we lose 10 to 15% of value over the next 2 to 4 years in Metro Atlanta in housing. So buying a home right now is a very bad idea because you're staring at a cliff potentially. Am I predicting it and saying it's 100% sure? No, I'm saying this is about a 70% likelihood. I'm really good at this stuff, and I'm probably right. I could be wrong for any number of reasons. Rates could go down, income could go up. Amazon could come here and pop in the need to find 100,000 homes for people. Those kind of things I can't predict. That happens, that'll create a bubble that will burst, but it'll mean we're looking and staring at opportunity.
But then you look at rentals right now that are costing as much, if not more, than mortgages and taxes.
Here's the thing. I don't have to qualify to pay $3,000 a month to rent a home generally.
Well, you have to basically get in, yeah.
Yeah, as long as I demonstrate the possibility of being able to pay, they'll rent it to me for a premium price and a deposit. If I want to buy a $3,000 a month mortgage on a $80,000 income, that ain't going to happen.
That's true.
Not unless I do a toxic arm. You also have, and we'll get into this next week, you have the shadow inventory, all of the institutional purchases from international investors and large corporations to the tune of hundreds of thousands, if not up to a couple of million homes that are owned by non-traditional owners of investment real estate across the country in the price ranges that generally are in the average or below average. As they see the market start to take a dip or a softening, they'll start putting that inventory on the market because they are in that inventory for a third or half of what the market's paying. Now, they bought it all up during the crash, and they'll start delivering that. They don't care if they lose a little bit from the peak because they bought it for half price anyway. And that will drive prices. That's coming, folks, and we're going to get into this even in more detail next week. There'll be more on the website, therealestateexperts.com, if you need to sell a home in Metro Atlanta. I suggest you go there. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.